This is the Nicest Podcast with your hosts, Travis Bottoms and Tyler Sublett. Get ready for genuine, unfiltered conversations with Arizona's most fascinating entrepreneurs, business leaders, and innovators. We dive into their stories, their journeys, and what drives their success, all while keeping it real and relatable. And now, introducing this week's guest.
I'm Stacy Weber, owner of Amelia's by Eat Catering, and I'm nicest.
Cool. Awesome. Well, welcome to the Nicest Fuck podcast, Stacy. We're excited to have you. Thanks for showing up. You are number 3 on our guest list. And yeah, we just want to hear like your story, where you started, why you're here, and tell us about yourself.
Sure. What an honor to be the third. I don't know who was before me, so I got to catch up on my podcast. Problem is I'm always running. I only have like 5-minute stints here and there, so I have to stop and restart one podcast probably like, I don't know, 15 to 30 times. So
it's an easy one to do that with, so no big deal.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here and share my story. It's a very... We'll tell it in chunks because it's long, and I have the abridged version down pretty well, but I think we have like 45 minutes, so I'll give you the long version. Do you want to start from the end and work backwards?
It's, however you want to go.
Okay. Because I think everyone knows, well, not everyone, but I'm most known for my most recent project, which is Amelia's by Eat, which you guys have been customers and
frequent customers.
Thank you. Yeah. But it's, I think, my best work, and I'm really proud of the restaurant and the catering that we put out of there, and definitely my most biggest sort of leap of faith and hardest work I've ever done, for sure. I've done really hard things, harder than this, but they have an end. So this is like the really, really hard stuff that happens every single day, and it, hopefully doesn't have an end. Right. So Amelia's was something that was created, kind of a passion project, I like to call it, because I wanted somewhere really badass to eat. And I'm not talking only vibes, but food was my main focus. I've been a chef. I never called myself a chef because I was just a really good cook, and I've never been formally trained, but I think by doing it, you learn the most. So just jumping in head first, that's what I do. So every single thing I've ever done, I jump in head first, and then I figure it out as I go. And I just, I'm the queen of faking it till I make it, but I work my ass off. So failure is not an option. So when I put my mind to something, I do it, and I pivot a lot. So there's lots of pivots, but there's no failure. And I think anything, that you start, and as long as you pivot into a place, you kind of find your footing and where you're meant to be. So Amelia's was a passion project. I lived in the McCormick Ranch area for over 10 years. I love that neighborhood so very much. And my son goes to school there, and I've lived on the same street for almost 12 years. And I just felt like there was nowhere to go. And I'm not knocking all the restaurants in that area, but I eat a specific way, and I want to know where my food comes from. I want simple, clean ingredients. That doesn't mean I eat kale and, quinoa every day. Like, I love a burger. I love an enchilada.
By the way, the burger,
our burger,
unbelievable.
Our burger is making a name for itself, and that's the thing. Like, we're becoming known for our burger and our chocolate chip cookies, and
which, by the way,
yes, brought snacks. I never come empty-handed. I try not to.
I can't eat that right now.
Not right now.
That Rice Krispie treat
right there. Everything there is incredible.
This microphone's just going to hear me chomping the whole time.
We'll have an intermission. There will be a common point where you guys get sick of me and want to have a cookie.
Never.
So anyways, I just wanted a place that I could bring to our community, McCormick Ranch, and hopefully more communities in time, but that you could walk in there and feel really good about everything you're putting in your body. So, from A to Z, our wine is we have a wine shop, which I think is really fun and cool, that most people don't know. And our wine is sustainable, biodynamic, organic. We're sourcing our wine from from small producers, that family-owned properties, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
All of, we have a full coffee program. Our coffee is organic. Our syrups are all made in-house. We don't source any kind of a syrup from anywhere else. We are doing organic coffee, and so all the things about Amelia's, through and through, are things that you can walk in the door and just feel like you don't have to think twice about it. Our kids menu, which we call smaller appetites because it's not only for kids, we have wild salmon on there, grass-fed steak, vegetables and fruits. Imagine that, right? Feeding your kid a vegetable or fruit when you go out to a restaurant. So I just got sick of taking I've been a single mom for a long time, and Jack is my sidekick, and I take him everywhere. We travel together. We eat out together. I don't discriminate on where I go based on having a kid typically, but oftentimes it was either nothing on the menu that was kid friendly enough or just junk. And so I wanted to create this place where people could come in their yoga pants. They could come dressed up for a night out. They can bring their kids. They can bring their dog. And everything about the place is, you don't have to think about whether or not I should be eating this, because we have something for everybody, and everything is mindfully curated. So there is not one ingredient in that restaurant that I'm not, at least I shouldn't say proud of, but I'm approving of, right? Yeah. So that's from A to Z, and we are not a healthy food, like a crunchy food place, right? We just make clean food. And it's funny because I see, the older crowd, I see people that are over, 70 eating in there, and they like it because that's the way food used to taste. Our grilled cheese, it's nothing special except it's really good sourdough, and it's toasted in butter, and it's not canola oil. I'm really proud that we're seed oil free restaurant certified, and we don't bring that stuff in the door. I will not do it. So there's little things that we opened with, like our ketchup, that kind of became a cult following. And then when I dug, it's so good. Yeah. I dug into it and I found an ingredient I did not like. So I took the ketchup and I figured out how to make it taste exactly like the junky one. And now we make our ketchup in-house because I'm not going to serve that and feel good about it. And I had this one person ask me, what do you, before we redid it, and oh my gosh, what are the ingredients? And usually I look at everything, and I did a little deeper dive, and I was like, oh my God, I can't tell her what the ingredients are. So I was like, oh, this is Chef Kevin's special recipe from, Nebraska, and I don't think he'd like me giving it out. And then I was like, great, I'm not going to sleep well tonight. So we're going to figure out how to make this ketchup, and we did. And it's really good, like you said. Yeah. But I'm not telling you what's in it. No, I will. I already gave somebody the recipe. But just a fun place that you can come in the community. And I hope to bring this, to other communities once we get our footing and our systems down. And that's kind of the thing about diving head first and then figuring it out. I kind of work backwards in everything I do.
We're telling the story backwards. Yeah. So that's perfect.
Right? So I have these ideas and I call them my light bulb moments, and I don't know when they're going to come to me, but they do. And I was walking into my Pilates class and I saw this.
The Pilates class right next door?
Yep.
Okay.
Workshop Pilates next door to Amelia's. And I walked out and the dry cleaner that had been there for I don't even know how long, was shut down. And I just knew that was the place that I wanted to open Amelia's. So those are the things. And I know if I have one of those ideas that it's happening. So don't try to talk me out of it. Yeah.
Well, it helps that it's, maybe a quarter mile from your house. You run back and forth whenever you need.
Well, but I kind of feel like.
I feel like every single time that I've ever gone, you're there. And even like when we went there at freaking 8 o'clock right before they closed, you were there. And I'm like, does she ever not freaking work?
Well, not really. This is a lifestyle.
No,
this is not a job. And when you own your own business, it is there. The hours, there's not a start and an end time ever. Well, I dream about it. Oh, yeah. I dream about it. I think about it while I'm working out. I have really good ideas when I work out because the endorphins are rolling. But it's an always thing on vacation, on my day-to-day, but I love it. And so that makes it worth it.
Yeah. Isn't that the best? Excited to wake up in the morning and do what you're doing?
Yeah.
that's kind of what we wanted, I think, in this podcast was like, we wanted to bring, first of all, badass business owners, but I feel like that's kind of the common theme among everybody that's been on this podcast is they love what they do. They love waking up in the morning and going to work. It just makes such a huge difference. And from somebody that didn't love what they were doing for a really, really long time, it was a means to an end and had a great sales career. But now that we're doing this thing for ourselves, it's like, I'm excited. I'm excited to wake up on Monday morning. Like, how many people can say that they're not having the Sunday scaries and they're stoked to go to work?
Yeah. Well, sometimes you don't even know you don't love what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I feel like the world works in a funny way, right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes we're not ready for an ending to something, but it comes and then you realize that it was time to move on. And when you do move on, then you realize, I always say, love what you do and the money will come. And that doesn't exclude really freaking hard work.
Yeah.
I mean, that part's a given. And there are days that, waking up every day euphoric is definitely not the category that you're in when you own a restaurant. Oftentimes they're like, what's going to go wrong today? Because I know, and I manage my own expectations, something's going to happen every day. And sometimes it's a minor thing, but sometimes it's a not minor thing. So, but I think having passion for what you do, and that's the thing, like, you got to do some jobs you don't like to figure out what you do like. And I think I've been down that road for sure.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
What have you done that you didn't like? You don't have to name names.
I won't name names, but this one doesn't even need a name. But I used to crawl up. I've always been very productive. I like working. I don't know. I like being busy, I should say. I'm a mover and a shaker. I don't sit still very long. But I used to crawl up on the roof of the mall, and I would, well, not only the roof of the mall, but that was one of the places I went, and I painted the gas meters at a very young age because my mom...
Was this in Idaho?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I would crawl into people's backyards, and I'd go to... And this is in Idaho, very small town, so, I'm not going to probably run up on anything too scary, but so I sanded them down and I spray painted them and went to the Lake Coeur d'Alene on my lunch breaks and slammed a sandwich, and that was my summer job. So that's definitely something I didn't love. I worked everyone would think you're really good in sales when you do things like restaurants and pest companies and this and that, because you have to sell. Like, you have to sell. Yeah. I suck at sales. I hate it. It took me a long, long time to get comfortable asking people for money. Okay. Like, hey, you owe me $1,000 and I need you to pay me. Like, oh God, I don't want to do it. But I was in sales. I worked for a local resort, and I had a call on these corporate businesses and ask them if they wanted to bring their sales team to Scottsdale. And this is before Scottsdale was booming, and stay at the resort. And I'd call on all these places. And honestly, luckily this was like 20 years ago, but I would find a discontinued number and I would just call it over and over and over again until I met my quota for the day. Yeah. These people would be like, God, how do you do this so fast? Yeah. I'm out 30 minutes early later. Oh, wow. And I took a lunch. I've always been really good at thinking thinking smarter and not harder, but that's kind of cheating. But I really hated that job a lot.
if you don't like what you're doing, you find any way around actually working.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, and as business owners, we have to find the people that are in our businesses that aren't liking what they're doing, right? Because such an expense is to pay people. Mm-hmm. So recognizing that, I always find that to be one of the biggest things, that it's definitely a huge part of our job is to put people in the right places. Yeah. And that's really hard to figure out what somebody you don't know is good at. And even if they applied for this job, well, in my business anyways, right? There's lots of different positions that we can put people in. So I really like this person. They seem to be a hard worker, but they're not really excelling in this area. Maybe if I put them, on the line instead of as a prep cook, they'll be better in that place. So finding those where to put those people is really hard. Anyways, that's the restaurant. Okay. Before that, I was in catering for many, many years. Yeah. Before that, I was an in-home private chef. Mm-hmm. That's a really funny story. Not really funny, but it's definitely a fake it till I make it situation where I was in a very long relationship, and my boyfriend was older than I was, and much old, about 10 years older than me, and so we hung out at home a lot and invited people over. Lived in a really beautiful house in North Scottsdale and entertained, and I loved doing that and would make these great dinners, and friends would say, wow, I love that recipe. Where did you get it? I want to make that. Just threw it together, little this, little of that. Saw a picture I thought looked really good, read the ingredients, and I made something. And then I realized that's not normal at all. And so, I've
tried that 100 times, and I never had anyone say, oh, that's good.
So I thought, well, I think I'm good at this. Like, I think I'm a good cook. And I always wanted to be good at an art. And I consider culinary arts definitely an art. Yeah. And I, growing up, I would do, I tried sculpture and I tried oil painting and I tried all these things, and I just drawing. I wasn't very good. I sucked. I looked at them like that. I want to be good at this, and I'm just not naturally gifted. And then I started cooking, and I was like, wow, I don't have to try that hard. And when I do try, it's even better. Mm-hmm. I think I found and I love it. Like, I like to read cookbooks for fun. Mm-hmm. I don't really like read, but I like look at the pages and the ingredients, and going to restaurants is like one of my favorite things to do is eat out and like learn what other people are doing and what's working and what they're going to a farmer's market. So
yeah, Mary Beth definitely says that going out to eat with you is an experience. It's fun because you go to all these different places and try so many different things, and like you kind of take charge. But it's pretty cool way to go out and experience other people's culinary art, right? Yeah. And maybe bring something back to what you're doing, or get an idea from it, or
well, the culinary, hospitality and culinary is something that you never master it. Mm-hmm. You're always learning, and you're always sharing ideas, and that's one thing I love about Amelia's is I've been able to connect with so many local purveyors and farms, and I can support the people that are doing wonderful things right here in Arizona. And Arizona doesn't get enough notoriety for the things we can grow and the farming, and we don't get seafood, but we can get grass-fed meat, and we can get pasture-raised chicken, and we can get really cool things right here in the desert. And we can grow year-round, which is pretty awesome too. Not a lot in the summer, but you can grow stuff. So I think that's been really fun to be able to come out and connect and learn what these small businesses are doing, and be able to kind of shine a light on them through what I'm doing.
What a cool way to support the local economy too.
Totally. Yeah. And I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, but I'll touch the surface. When your food is coming from, 15 to 50 hours away, it's ripening on the truck. It's not at its peak nutrition point, or, it's not its best yet because, these farmers know they have to pick it, and then it's got a week to get where it's going. Right. So we can really get better food that way. Yeah. So that's been really fun, and I feel like I've only scratched the surface, and I'm really excited about some of this stuff. You are going to be in attendance at a very secret project that I'm starting.
I guilted Mary Beth out enough. I was like, why can't I go? I love food. Like, come on.
I'm going to start a secret chef dinner, and something that's invite only, but obviously very open. I'm just not going to market it, but this is something that I'm going to start this month. And I'm inviting my most beloved and biggest supporters of Amelia's, people that are in there multiple times a week and have been since day one and just love what we're doing. But this dinner will only, I'll only be serving what I can find in Arizona.
Heck yeah.
And so I hope that it becomes something that these local purveyors think is really cool and get excited about being part of that and being part of our menu. So that's my newest light bulb moment, and I just wanted to do something that really shined a light on the things that we have here, but also bringing community together, and a thing that isn't, is a little bit more quiet and has a bit of a buzz around kind of something that we're doing bringing people together has always been the most fun part of this, right? Seeing people enjoy a meal. And that's one of the things I love so much about having the restaurant is in catering, oftentimes you're behind the scenes. You don't get to see the guests like put the food in their mouth and, be excited, or you don't really get to be in the front where they're having all the fun around the food. As I started as an in-home personal chef. We got derailed. I was going to tell you that was the beginning, but I would leave the food behind, and then the families would heat it up and serve it for dinner.
Right.
I worked for a lot of local athletes, and I packaged their meals up. But I just gave it to them, and then they took it on their way, and it would fuel them for their game or for whatever it is. So it's been a really fun pivot to see the people eat the food.
Yeah.
So that has been great. So this dinner I think will be kind of all encompassing, right? Bringing people together, supporting local, and creating just something that it's not being done here.
Yeah.
I think things like this are in other states and communities, and I wanted to start seeing this stuff right here. In Arizona, we live in such a great state. So
Love that.
So we kicked it all off with as an in-home personal chef.
Yeah.
And I had one client. I used to work at a really bougie boutique, and I put my cards out, and people would say, "Oh, you're so cute. Are you in college?" And I'd say, "No, actually, this is my side job. I'm a personal chef." Oh, well, I need a personal chef. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the beginning for me, and I had no idea I was going to do this. I had no clue. I knew that I loved food. I was one of the original servers at Chelsea's Kitchen.
Nice.
And so I graduated college. I worked as a mortgage loan officer at Great Southwest Mortgage.
Okay.
I spent more money on business casual than I ever made there. I closed one loan, gave half of the proceeds to the guy that sits next to me because I didn't want to do the paperwork, and I quit.
Okay.
And I walked down, I probably drove down to Chelsea's Kitchen, and they were just opening, and I was a very regular customer at Postino. And I decided that I knew this was going to be fun and food focused, and I wanted to do something that was active, and I really wanted to work in the kitchen, but I knew I wouldn't make any money. So I worked as a server and just bothered the chefs, and learned a lot. And moved up to some really actually cool restaurants in town. I worked at Sassy when that was a kind of a big deal up in North Scottsdale, and they were doing events and very fine dining Italian, and kind of made my way around a little bit. And then I started cooking, and I created a buzz. I started doing a lot of alternative cooking. So I worked for a lot of these athletes that were following very specific food programs.
Okay.
And so I figured out how to make food taste really good by eliminating all the things they couldn't have, or, lowering the calories, or following, dietary restrictions that were difficult. So I figured out one of my clients was a baseball player, and he loved fettuccine Alfredo, but he did gluten-free, dairy-free, garlic-free.
Oh, wow.
And so I figured out how to make this.
I don't think I've ever heard garlic free.
Yeah. It did not work for him.
Oh.
So we did this. I made this fettuccine Alfredo. I always say we now because I have a team behind me that I could not do what I do without.
Yeah.
So, but at that point in time, I was a one-man band. I did everything. I did the billing. I did the menu planning. I did the grocery shopping. I did it all. But yeah, so I figured out how to make these really cool dishes with, like, creatively without or with using specific ingredients and that was kind of, I started doing a harder job in that way, the cooking part, right?
Yeah.
Chef by trade. I call myself a chef now, but I never would have before, just because I feel like over the years, I think I've trained and taught and learned and been humble. And so now, I think I graduated into calling myself a chef, not a cook. So
Yeah.
But
do you make them call you chef at the restaurant?
No.
Yes, chef.
But honestly, it is kind of a respect thing. And so when I am in the kitchen, they do, because that is, I'll throw a chef coat on and do events. And that is my favorite part of the job, the actual cooking part. But what I didn't know is getting into all these other things. The cooking part kind of doesn't become as a big of the job, right? You got to make sure you're not going to go broke. So you got to be the bookkeeper and the manager and the people, human resources and all the things. There's no job too small when you're a business owner.
Sure.
So anyways, the cooking part I love. I'm super passionate about it. And these chef dinners we're going to do, I will be in the kitchen, plating and being creative, because that's the part that I love so much. And again, I think if I stay focused on that part of it, the joy is there, but also the success comes behind it. I used to have this client that I worked for, and they were one of my core clients. And it was kind of, as I got busier, I started hiring other chefs to take on some of these clients and to help. And they were like, we know you didn't make that.
No way. Really?
If you can't make our stuff, I don't know if we want, to continue with the services. I'm like, how do you know it's the same recipe? We can tell.
Oh, wow.
So that's part of it too, right? You got to make these recipes now in the restaurants. You got to make these recipes so they're replicatable and they're the same every time. Consistency is so key.
Yeah.
As you guys so well know.
How do you do that?
Oh gosh, it's a daily task, right? I stand up on Expo and I'll say, oh, wrong garnish. Oh, that's not salted. Oh, you forgot the lemon zest. So, it's just constant. But having great staff, I mean, that's the thing, like putting your energy into finding people that are like-minded. We have a chef at Amelia's. Kevin, some of you guys know him. Yeah. But I felt that was the 11th hour. I thought that felt like a gift from God. I thought I was going to have a nervous breakdown because we were opening in a week and I didn't have a chef yet. So giddy up, right? But at the time, I'm running all the culinary services for the Arizona Cardinals. We have a full, bustling, hustling catering business, and I'm opening a restaurant, and I am a mom, and I can't do all this. It's physically impossible. So I was really scared, and then Chef Kevin came rolling in for an interview, and I had just left to go run an errand, and the girls called me and they were like, "Oh my God, you're gonna be so excited!" Yeah. So, but ultimately we have this similar values when it comes to what we're doing, right? Yeah. Minimal ingredients and hard work, and doing it the hard way, not the easy way, not because we're not thinking smarter, but because that's the long way and that's the way it works. Yeah. And that's why the food tastes good. Sure. So,
but Chef Kevin has such a care for people like you do too. He does. So it's the food, it's the ingredients, you guys have the same vision. Right? We talk about vision a lot. Yep. You have the same vision, but also when it comes to people. I mean, he shows up at 6 a.m. to help out and take care of the kitchen, and Kevin's there to greet him. He wants to make him breakfast. Yeah. He loves people too, so it's great.
Well, ultimately, it's hospitality. And so when people feel well taken care of, they're going to come back. Yeah. And they're going to choose you over something that might be easier or more convenient. Sure. So that's something that we constantly try to emulate in the restaurant, not only from our, chef management team, but from, everybody that works there. And I think we're doing a really good job, but it's hard. I mean, hiring and managing, it's really, there's a lot that goes into it, and we hope that our customers notice. And we don't always meet the mark oftentimes the perception of what we're doing is different, right? I mean, if there were no Yelp, I would be a happy human. I don't know if the owners of Yelp ever listen to this, but I'd say it right to their face. Like, you're ruining small businesses. You're not giving people the opportunity to shine. People, what happened to the old way where people can just say, hey, there's not enough salt in my soup.
Right.
Let me fix that for you.
Sure.
We want people to walk out those doors feeling like they just had the best meal. But if you don't give us the opportunity, And this is not just in my business. This is everybody's
Everyone.
business. Speak up, right?
We see it all the time in pest control too, where like people will be like, hey, I'm just going to go with someone else, whatever. We look back on their account and there's no reservices, there's no nothing, no communication of anything being wrong. And we always like have to message back like, hey, like we have these options. And they're like, oh, I had no idea. It's like, we were just going to cancel and you didn't even like communicate with us.
Yeah.
And so,
and then, the whole Yelp thing, it's easier for people to go take their time and be negative than to highlight the positive, and we ask for reviews all the time just as part of our process. So we've been very fortunate in getting some good reviews, but I think also the restaurant business, I mean, it's so easy for people to just,
it's cutthroat.
Yeah. And then, they're out there saying whatever from one bad experience or one subpar experience in their mind instead of allowing you to fix the problem.
Yep.
But that's also the beauty of like, you're there. If you see somebody getting upset, and you're there, you can come fix it rather than allowing your staff to really bite the bullet if you need to in that situation.
Yeah, we can fix anything, really.
Yeah.
And so I just love the opportunity to do so. I think anybody does, but I think that, that's just a small part of it. But feedback's so important, right?
Yes.
I take 50% of every review we get and I look closely at it. And I oftentimes find ways to improve. I just wish they'd, pull me aside and mention it. But sometimes people do, like those kind people that send an email and say, today wasn't the best day. And so it gives us the opportunity to fix it and invite them back for a better experience. And we're so appreciative of feedback. Honestly, some of the feedback we get creates new dishes and creates the opportunity to add something to our menu or make a system more intentional or better. So
Sure.
yeah, so it's really important to us. But
it's so cool because you're a staple of our community, right? I live in the community as well, and you walk in and I come over and give you a hug, give Jack a high five.
Yeah.
If he's there sitting in the bar, he's the best restaurant kid ever. He's there a ton because he loves to be there too. It's awesome.
it's funny. It's so cute. I love having the kids in. We just did this, the ice cream social, which was so fun. I mean, they run amok in there, but that's the idea. Also, it makes me feel really good to like fuel them with quality ingredients. They came in after school, a couple of the kids the other day, and I let them have ice cream sundaes and French fries. But I didn't feel bad about it. Our fries, we fry them in grass-fed beef tallow, and it's a local product.
Those fries are so freaking
the,
good.
the Fleet Street fries. I mean, they're non-GMO, hand cut. It's fun to introduce people to this kind of stuff, and then they love it and they keep eating it. Like ultimately, all of this is done out of this like passion for fueling people and bringing people together and having a great time. So I hope, in time we have the opportunity to open more Amelias and bring it to other people's community. I feel spoiled that we get to have this so close to home, and then the people that are like, oh, I'd be there every day if it was just more convenient, and I get that because so would I, I sometimes, we get together, friends get together. I'm like, where do you want to go? Like, well, we want to go to Amelia's, but Stacy, we don't want you to have to go to work. I'm like, no, I want to go too. I love it there. I love the food.
We all do. We all do.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm an open book. That's the story, kind of, right?
Yeah.
That's I went to college. I was a communication major. School was not my jam so much. The social part sure was, though. And kind of like my poor kid. We keep, I get it. He's like, I don't want to do this. I'm like, I know. Neither do I.
Get good at something, Jack.
Yeah. But he'll roll into Amelia's and belly up to the bar and have a full conversation with the guy next to him. So I'm like, you're gonna be fine. Don't worry.
Just fine. Yeah, the kid's the cutest. So
yeah. So
when he and Harrison get together, they're already trouble. But I can only imagine in the future the two of them together.
It's also been just so rewarding to create a space that I think people that are so much more educated than me and so much more connected in the community and so much so also passionate about food and wellness are coming to, right? Like you see, the Diamondbacks players in there from time to time. And, we had Alex Clark from A Culture Apothecary, which is a podcast that I'm obsessed with. And she's so again, just knowledgeable and bringing these cool people onto her podcast and to see her in there. And, we see doctors and, naturopathic type folks. And it's like, wow, like you said earlier, I'm like, I'm just doing what I think is cool for me, right?
Yeah.
And for my neighbors and for my friends and my family. And so to see these people come into this place, I'm like, oh, wow, this must be really cool what we're doing here, right?
It is. And you've got some good partnerships too. I mean, with Workshop Pilates and Kaleidoscope Juice. I mean, you've got other local great business partners that again have the same vision as you as far as local and healthy and all those things.
Yep. We really try to bring, shed that light on those people. Those other business owners are working their tails off too. Nice pest. Yeah. So they keep us, bug free. Yeah. Which we're pretty clean kitchen.
Oh, I was gonna bring it up, but honestly, your kitchen is very clean. And I totally judge people off of their kitchen, and I will not eat at some of the restaurants that we treat. I won't say which ones. No. But I eat at Amelia's very regularly.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I designed that restaurant to be kind of that open floor plan feel. Like I want our customers to pop their head back in the back and see the action, right? Yeah. It's not a secret. Nothing we do there is a secret. If it is, then it's not right. Sure. Yeah. We're going to fix it or change it. Yeah. So yeah, clean bathrooms, clean kitchen. The bathroom parts are hard. We got to keep, reminders, lots of friendly reminders. So,
well, when you have all the kids in there, that's the hardest time to keep it clean because they're like little hurricanes coming through.
Totally.
Talk to us a little bit about the catering side of things because we know you moved to a new space for Eat.
Oh yeah,
and kind of what the future of that looks like.
I know, poor Eat. I haven't even brought it up. So in 2015, I opened a restaurant called Eat by Stacy Weber, and that was on Tatum and Shea, and we had a storefront, and that was really scary. That was something I knew moving out of being an in-home chef. I needed a commercial kitchen because organically catering was just growing like wildfire. People wanted us to come in, us as in it was me and just a couple other people. Usually I'd have my best friend be a server and I would go into these homes, beautiful homes, and create catered events. And I knew at some point in time, like I can't do it in their home. I can't do all the prep. I can't haul the stuff. I need a bigger refrigeration area and all that. So I opened Eat on Tatum and Shea in 2015 and I tacked on, because it is a very retail-oriented space, I tacked on a storefront. And so you could come in, and that was in the days where like My Fit Foods and some of those other grab-and-go type places were really booming. Like that was what people wanted. They wanted to be conveniently fed. And so I felt like that was what a great thing to offer our food packaged up at a very good value, right? Because at the time, for me to come to your house and cook, you were paying $150 an hour, plus the groceries, plus, the grocery store fee and all this stuff. So, I mean, really, I wouldn't get out of there for less than probably like $500 to $800. That's a lot of money if you just want a good, healthy meal. So I had no idea what I was doing. Honestly, you guys, I never worked in a restaurant. So outside of serving, I never worked in a kitchen. I didn't know what a freaking deli container was. I didn't know, that you were supposed to take tape and label your stuff. And, this was all just trial by fire. No error. Just figure it out as you go. There's no trial and error here. You can't. There can't be errors. You just get better. So, so I opened this storefront, and at the beginning, I was like, "We're shopping at Costco for all this stuff." I'm like, there's got to be a better way. And I'm like, "Oh, Cisco Foods. Like, why don't we call them and see if they can bring us something, right?" Or Shamrock, or we had some of our little local vendors and such. But this was literally figure it out as you go status. But I opened a little storefront. You could come in, you could grab meals and go. And at the time we had this little communal table in the front. You could eat there. And this was my catering kitchen. So we prepared all of our catering out of this kitchen, which was so wonderful. We had, the commercial ovens, and we had a ton of what I thought at the time was a ton of refrigeration. And on and on. So this was our catering kitchen, our production kitchen, our grab and go. I don't ever do anything easy, right? Same with Amelia's. Oh, we've got to have a wine shop. We've got to have a freezer section. We've got to have a wine club, and we're going to have a catering. And so it's never just like the thing. It's always the things. So it was our grab and go and clean, organic meals to go. And I was so proud that I could offer that food to people that couldn't afford to have a personal chef in their house. It was really wonderful. And then catering just went wild. So at one point in time, it was like pre-2020, and it was kind of like fall, and we were moving into fall, and we realized there's not a way to sustain all these grab and go fridges with meals to go, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks, and freezer items, and do all the catering that we need to do in this space. So this was right before COVID. I don't even like talking about COVID, but just to give you a sense of the timeline. And we had to make a decision. It was, hey, do we prioritize catering, or do we prioritize this grab and go business where our profit margins are so small on packaged meals? Nobody has any idea how small these margins are. So I said, go catering, all the way catering. So we scrapped the storefront, kind of, and we allowed people to order the meals online, and catering took over. And that was the right move because COVID happened right after that. And we were still able to kind of service people on a small scale with some catering and deliver meals to people's homes. And that was kind of where it all got started. And that, when you see Amelia's Buy Eat, the Buy Eat part is kind of where we came from, right? That's the OG. A lot of the recipes on the menu at Amelia's are things I've been making for 2 decades. And, our green chili pork stew that I think is the best in town, our turkey burgers, our enchiladas that I've made. I've tweaked to make it better over the past, 5 years. But that's something I started making in people's homes and then carried it over into the storefront. Now at Amelia's, and I get to garnish it and I get to watch people eat it. Yeah. But, a lot of these things I've been making for a really, really long time. And it came from the storefront and catering. So we still do in-home catering. It's definitely something I'm a little pickier about who we service, but we love it. I don't want to forget that that's sort of like the roots of this. And it's great because Amelia's has catering platters. So for corporate events and that sort of thing, you can order these platters of food. So there will always be a catering aspect because honestly, it's the kind of it's where we came from. Yeah. So we did it the opposite way. I feel like most restaurants start as a restaurant and then tack on catering because it's profitable. And
again, you're just going backwards. You're not left-handed, are you?
Oh my gosh, no.
Are you left-handed?
I'm just a backwards.
You're just backwards. My mom's left-handed and she does everything backwards. We have a joke about it, so that surprises me that you're
I would say that if I just beat to my own drum a little bit. It's hard. I'm actually in the process of planning a wedding. Okay. And so this kind of similar, right? Everyone's like, why are you going to do that? I'm like, just trust me. Trust me. This is going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome, but you just got to let me do my thing. Yeah. But yeah, I get my light bulb moments and my my different, paths but like everybody, everyone has their own way and sure. There is no one right way to do this, as you guys well know. No. There's just passion and the hard work and faking it till you make it.
Yeah. Well, I think, and something that, kind of a mode of operation or when you have the frame of mind that like, hey, I'm going to figure it out and it'll all work out. Somehow it's all going to work out. And it's either going to be a big win or a learning experience and I'm going to pivot, like you said. Like, you can't lose.
You can't give up.
Yeah.
Right? I played sports growing up, and I feel like it gave me such a good framework of, like, how to be in business. I mean, I think that saying glass half full, blah, 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 like so cliche, but really like you just have to find what works and you can't give up. Like you just have to keep figuring it out as you go. And, my dad used to say something to me, and I should probably be talking more about my grandma because the restaurant's named after her, but he used to say to me, what do winners think about? And it's winning, and what do losers think about? Losing. And so, I suck, this isn't going to work. Like that doesn't ever even enter my kind of mind. It's always like, how can I get better? Why didn't this work? And what can I do differently? I change stuff a lot. I'm trying not to change the menu, but I mean, just the way we do things. Like I also know my way isn't, I am very strong-willed, but I like feedback and I like collaborative efforts. Every Monday at Amelia's, we have our back of house chefs meeting, and every Friday we have our front of house leads meeting. And, I want feedback and I want ideas. And one thing I get really annoyed about is when I'm the only one that's coming up with the ideas. Like, this is all teamwork, right?
Yeah.
From start to finish, like you can't do this alone. So, being collaborative is, I think is really great. I love it when people come up with ideas. You guys probably know April, who works with me, and we've worked together side by side for many years. And, she worked with Michael Mina, and she worked in some amazing places. And so she is in charge of all the operations, but she rolls in with some really cool, ideas around food oftentimes. And it's really fun to bounce ideas and collaborate. Like I wouldn't be as good as I am if I didn't have these people that could like help with this vision, bring this vision to life. So, surrounding yourself with people you like to work with that work really hard too is just, I can't, say that enough.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's, what I think we try to do too is it's all about your people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You got to have good people around you that you trust, but that can also hold you accountable and bring ideas and all that good stuff.
Totally. So what, you want to hear about the worst catering job I ever did?
Yeah,
I was surprised about how many people you freaking cater to.
Yeah.
How many people? Because I heard it like 2 years ago from April and Katie, when Katie was working with you. And when Katie told me, I was like, there is no freaking way that you guys are feeding this many people out of that. How many people are you catering?
There's no number, right? But we can do a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of that tiny but mighty thing, right? Like, I'm like, yeah, we'll do that. Bring it on. There's always a way to make it work. There's always more equipment you can order. There's always more food you can, store and prep and make, it work. So that's kind of a complicated answer, but we've done events up to, 5,000 people. But that's not our sweet spot.
I just mean on like the regular, because you do like meals and things for people.
Yes. We've steered away from that a little bit just because it's so customized. And I knew when I opened the restaurant, some things had to go. Right? Like I couldn't do everything. And that customized service was really hard. I still do it here from time to time for customers. But at one point in time, we were doing customized meals for families and individuals for probably like 15 families a week. And then catering, we have anywhere up to, I would say 3 to 15 events a week at any given time, depending on the time of year. But all that stuff we had to be more selective after opening the restaurant. But what's beautiful about the restaurant is now if we can't accommodate your event, we can give you catering from Amelia's, which is great because we can pump a lot out of there too. So that's been something that's kind of always ebbed and flowed, but we really don't try not to say no.
Yeah.
Like it's not always yes to what you want, but I can give you an alternative, right? Like that. No is something I try not to ever say, like that's just not something we can do. But hey, we could do this. But yeah, it is a numbers game, but you have to be strategic because there are times where I'm like, we can't make money doing that. And we're not doing this for fun. This is not a hobby. Yeah. This is a business. And so if we can't, make it profitable, and there are times where we have fallen on our faces and we have learned that this is not something we'll do again. But yeah, a lot of people.
There's so many.
Yeah. And then my work with the Cardinals was very, it really, I learned so much. I put on a Super Bowl. Not in the stadium, but, the pregame tailgate was something that was my responsibility to make sure, the Final Four. So I really was lucky to be part of that organization and learn so much about these big events and how to be strategic and organized and feed a ton of people with minimal resources. So, and I'm not saying they have minimal resources, but the event venue that I work at or was working with is minimal resources. So it kind of opened the doors for me to be able to feel like I could kind of like accomplish anything when it comes to like catering in general. Yeah. So that was really fun. And I just, be able to do all these really cool, big events. But our sweet spot are these little, like where I can be extra creative and I can get a garnish or like a microgreen from a farm that I can put on there or an edible flower, and I can those special touches that you don't all the time see in large event catering is where I really thrive and get excited. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
So now tell us about the worst catering ever.
Tell us.
I know. I'm like, come on, guys. Don't you want to hear any of
this? We do. Give it to us.
So there's one event that really stands out in my mind, and it was a private dinner. I mean, wow. I was probably in my 20s, so yikes. This is probably,
2 years ago.
Yep. Well, maybe 5. So I went to this house, and they really wanted tacos, soft tacos, and they wanted, to mix and match, and it was a plated dinner. And they wanted me to use their grill. And I didn't know. I was like, I don't really think fish tacos on the grill. You guys, have you ever tried to grill fish on the grill and make it come off perfectly beautiful? It's really freaking hard. It's really hard too when it's not your grill and it's got crust all over the bars, the grates of the grill, and you've got 6 things cooking in the kitchen. Then you have to leave the kitchen to go out and grill the fish. Yeah. And I told this lady I did not want to grill the fish, and she insisted that they had grilled fish tacos. And at the time, I didn't know how to tell people no, and I was gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, that was a fail, and so the fish was breaking into the grates of the grill, and I'm trying to pull it off and keep my tortillas warm, and then garnish them and plate 3 different types of tacos on a plate all at the same time for 10 people after only having done this job for maybe 2 years. I don't even know. It might have been my first year. I don't know. But the tacos were a failure. And I watched the people pick the soft taco up and the bottom break out of the taco. Yeah. I thought I was going to crawl under a hole, especially after she came in the kitchen and called everybody at the table big time foodies. Oh God. So foodie, if someone calls himself a foodie, you know you're in trouble. I'm a foodie. Wow, I'm screwed. So I don't even know how that shook out, but I still think about it. And
still have nightmares.
Yeah, basically.
You wake up in the middle
I
of the
overthink.
Night to tacos breaking.
Yeah, I am a perfectionist. Ask anyone. And so, except for my closet, I don't put my clothes away for months at a time.
You can
my
only
fiance
do so
would say
much.
my fiance would say years that and in 5 years of knowing me, I've never once put them away. But outside. Am I allowed to say outside of the bedroom?
You can say whatever you
outside
want.
of the bedroom. I'm a perfectionist. So that was really, really hard on me, that dinner, and I still think about it. And now I go into events and I am very prepared, and I do not grill taco. I don't grill fish. Yeah. No.
That's what she's gonna have for your guys' dinner is
grilled fish taco.
I'm redeeming myself.
Yeah.
I've grilled fish, many a times, but I don't know. That was a hard one to swallow.
Yeah.
What's the next couple years look like for Stacy?
Wow. Well, I really feel like we're finding our stride. That's me knocking on wood.
Yeah.
So I feel like growth is in the future. But I really want to feel steady and confident. It's funny. I saw this opportunity in the McCormick Ranch area, and I had this amazing idea for this restaurant, and I wanted to do this like Mexican type. I love Southwest flavors and Mexican food. And so I wanted to do this really cool, like live entertainment place where people can come and all this stuff. And I had it all lined out in my head and the menu items and how I wanted to do this. And then I thought, are you insane? You just worked for 3 years, ultimately 3 years, to get this restaurant running smoothly, and so many pivots and so many learning things. And now you're going to go do something totally different. You have no idea what you're doing. Like, that's kind of me. Yeah. But I backed it up and I kind of refocused, and I decided that opening a second Amelia's would probably be a really wise idea. So, like Amelia's in McCormick, I feel like the real estate will dictate where the next project will be.
Do you have a dream location?
I mean, I'd love to be in Arcadia. I think North Scottsdale has really a need for some great restaurants, markets, like a DC good eating. Yes. Something like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I'm just kind of putting the feelers out like very, very lightly, because I think one more year of just perfecting what we're doing is important. And, to be financially sound. And honestly, like, people don't again, it's hard to talk about money and all that stuff, but this is a very expensive endeavor. Like, what we did was extremely expensive and extremely risky. And I put I personally guaranteed my own home in this project. And this is the kind of stuff that this is where it's probably not smart to jump first and figure it out later. I did not write a business plan. I don't like doing things like that. So it is a really expensive endeavor, and I didn't have investors in Amelia's. That was all me. That was money I saved, and money I was loaned. So I want to be ready for the second one and really feel good going into it, and have all of our systems in place, and really have the framework to roll in and not have 2 years of figuring it out. Yeah. To have 2 months of figuring it out and then, hit the ground running and really feel awesome about, everything we've done to lead up to that. And then we'll see. What would be really great is to have these these wonderful restaurants in places that I want to be.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I think, Coeur d'Alene. I mean, my family is there half the year, and I know a lot of people live there now. When I grew up there, it was just a, redneck place, doing keggers in the woods, and nobody really knew. It was a blip on the map, and now the Kardashians have a house there. Yeah. So I think not kind of gravitating in that area at some point would be silly, but we'll see how things shake out. But yeah, I think that there's definitely more Amelia's in my future. Okay. I'd love to create some kind of a fast food concept based off of the dishes at Amelia's that are home runs. We haven't talked a ton about food, but like you said, our burger, our tacos are really awesome. If you haven't been for Taco Tuesday, it's a vibe in there. Jack's Pretzel Twist is such a good one, right? Our lasagna is a heavy hitter. Our Cobb salad with the spicy deviled egg is one of our most popular items. So take our 10 most popular things, throw it in a old Taco John's or something, a Jack in the Box, and have a drive-through. And just, I think ultimately people need convenience in their life, and where you can kind of call ahead and curbside or run in and grab food at Amelia's, it's still not as convenient as driving through and ordering and getting your food in 10 minutes. Right. So
people don't even drive through anymore. They Uber Eats it.
Yeah, right. Which is crazy. I know, and expensive. Yeah. So
to the restaurant as well.
Yeah. Totally. That, sure. So we'll see. I definitely, the wheels are always turning. Just got to wait for that next light bulb. Yeah. And we'll go from there. But yeah, I think that there's growth in the future for us.
Nice. Yeah. Love it. Well, I can't wait for the chef's dinner.
I know.
It's going to be really awesome.
I know. That's kind of what I'm actually canceled something this afternoon because I'm I really got to think about this. This is the first one. And it's always, I think doing something for the first time is always the hardest. Everyone knows that. Well, maybe you don't, but the first time's the hardest time, and then every time after that you just make it better. Yeah. But I want this to be I want everyone that's there to know how much we appreciate them and how much this, couldn't have been as successful as it is without the, regular customers and the people that shout us out on Instagram. I mean, we have such a cool community of people that come in there and post pictures of the things they're eating. And I mean, I think our social media is really fun to look at just because it's driven by mostly our customers.
Right. We've done some collabs too.
We've done some really fun collabs and more in the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've got some fun stuff coming up. So I want it to be perfect, of course.
Yeah.
No flabby tacos. Don't worry.
No grilled fish tacos.
You know what? You can't get fish in Arizona unless you go to the trout pond in Sedona. So there won't be fish on the menu.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing on your menu is the tuna salad. I mean, tuna sandwich.
Salad sandwich.
And I'm like, I'm not really a fish guy or a tuna salad sandwich guy, but that is so bomb.
But when you put the things, you wouldn't think of it. You know what? I got that idea. Every dish, we could talk for hours. Every dish on the menu has kind of like there's something to it, right? An experience I had or a dish I've been making for a super long time. I was in LA at a concert at oh my gosh, I'm blanking. But anyways, and we went to this restaurant that I absolutely love and got sandwiches to go. And we opened up, paper wrapped sandwiches. It was Willie Nelson's 90th commemorative concert. Okay. And
is it the Hollywood Bowl?
Yes, Hollywood Bowl. I don't know why I blanked on that. But and we opened these sandwiches and one of them was a tuna sandwich. And it had grapefruit and I think arugula or something. And it's like, oh, the sandwich is so good, but I think I could make it better. And so I took all the items that I loved about this sandwich. Oh, no, it had the olives on it.
Okay.
And it kind of felt like that French vibe, like I'm on the French Riviera. I've got this olive tuna sandwich. Then I added the grapefruit.
Okay.
And our house-made pickles, which you would not think go well together. Grapefruit and pickles sounds like the worst combination, but when you add it to this sandwich with the arugula and that toasted roll, like it is,
so
I think it's one of the coolest things.
Pepper, acidity.
Yeah. You've got the calamatas, which I just read are one of the healthiest things you can eat. The calamatas, the house-made pickles, the arugula, and the grapefruit sort of like sauce we put in with the tuna. And of course it's line caught tuna. We're being nice to the dolphins and we get really good quality. We call it tinned tuna.
Okay.
No cans. Just
Yeah.
But anyways, I agree. But all of our dishes I think have like kind of a little something going on, right? That unexpected.
There's nothing everything there is wonderful. It's so good. So
the breakfast burritos are really good because I've had like 12 of them.
Yeah, Kevin.
We need to get you a punch card. Like your 12th one's free or something.
Yeah, there you go.
I like that idea. See? Coming up with stuff.
Well, we love you to death. We appreciate
where
you being
Where can
here.
people find you?
Third time's a charm, right?
Yeah.
I'm number 3. So definitely follow our Instagram. We are posting all of the coolest events we're doing. We're gearing up for wine dinners again. We have a master somm coming in October 1st to do a dinner with us. So all of this cool, fun kind of information, new menu items, all of that we post on social media. So Amelia's AZ. Is our website, ameliasaz.com. Our social is Amelia's by Eat on social. And I think those are the most important places. And obviously our physical, location is via Daventry and Hayden and McCormick. But
McCormick Ranch. Shout out to the ranch.
Also, like you guys said, you can get some of our goodies at Press Coffee, Kaleidoscope Juice. We try to spread the love around town. Swished in.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I know they're newer, so they're not on like Firefly Cafe, which is a coffee shop in McCormick as well. So we try to get our goodies out to all the places we, that we love and that want to feed their customers well. So come to the restaurant or, follow us on social. Check out our website. We've got all the info on all those places.
Nice.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming in, being our third guest. We're excited to have people listen about you, and we freaking love you.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Thanks.
This has been the Nicest Podcast. Enjoy the episode? Say so in the comments. Hit that subscribe button and pass it to a friend. We'll catch you next week. And until then, stay nice as